So number 14 and the 42 ideas on leadership is the big 5 personality grouping and their connection to leadership. It's also known as the ocean or canoe grouping for personalities because of the fact that each of the letters in the ocean and canoe stands for one of the 5 personality traits. So these 5 main personality traits have been found to be common across most of the personality tests that exist out there. This model was initially put forward by TUPES and CHRISTAL in 1961, and it has been developed in the years since by both of them and also by DIGMAN, GOLDBERG, CATTELL, COSTA and McRae. So you have your personality, and then that personality is made up of 5 different traits, starting with neuroticism, our openness to experience, our agreeableness, our extraversion and our conscientiousness. Let's look at these in a little bit more detail. Neuroticism. On one scale, if we're highly neurotic, well, we're prone to being depressed, anxious, insecure, vulnerable and hostile. And on the other end of the spectrum of neuroticism, we're stable, calm and possibly uninspiring. When it comes to conscientiousness, on one end of the spectrum, that means we're thorough, organized, controlled, dependable and decisive. But on the other end of the spectrum, means we can be flexible and spontaneous, but also possibly a little bit sloppy. On one end of the spectrum for agreeableness, and you can see that it's a very difficult word to pronounce for some reason, is accepting, conforming, trusting and nurturing. The other end of the spectrum for agreeableness is competitive, argumentative and untrustworthy. When it comes to openness to experience, at the positive end, we're informed, we're creative, we're insightful and we're curious. On the other end of the spectrum of openness to experiences, we're cautious, we're perseverant and maybe a little bit dogmatic. When it comes to extraversion, on the positive end of the spectrum again, we're sociable, assertive and we've got positive energy. On the other end of the spectrum, we're reserved, reflective and maybe a little bit self-absorbed. When it comes to the leadership and these big 5 personality traits, they've shown in a study in 2002 that there is a connection between some of these characteristics and leaders. So leaders have high levels of extraversion, they have moderately high levels of conscientiousness and openness to experience. There is generally a low level of neuroticism, and agreeableness, need to be liked, is actually negatively correlated, slightly negatively correlated to leadership. So the big ones there are extraversion, conscientiousness, openness to experience in a positive area, and neuroticism lower down, and then there's no need to be liked. So this is a test based on the big 5. You can find this at the following link at www.personal.psu.edu and the following link after that. There are many tests based on it, but this is one that's free that you can access. So there we have it. Personality is based on neuroticism, openness to experience, agreeableness, extraversion and conscientiousness. That's number 14 in the 42 ideas on leadership, big 5 personality types and leadership.